hate executive orders. I can't believe in this country, a country that exists specifically because a bunch of people were sick and tired of one person having the power to speak into law whatever they want, has decided it's okay for one person to have the power to speak into law whatever they want. We murdered a whole bunch of people, our own people, to stop this very thing. And today, we encourage and celebrate this practice. What in the holy toaster strudel is happening right now? All right, look, let's be fair. Executive orders aren't exactly that simple. Congress does have the ability to block executive orders. It's not fair to equate executive orders with the power of a monarchy. But gad dang it, Francis, it's not terribly far off. Executive orders aren't new. In fact, the idea of executive order has been around since George Washington. Washington himself issued a small number of them, mostly as a way of telling the people who worked under him to submit reports and stuff without having to ask Congress to vote on such a trivial thing. And that's what executive orders were originally designed to do. But as the saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Give someone a foot, they'll take a mile. The first really controversial use of executive order was by good old Abe Lincoln. Lincoln used executive order to suspend habeas corpus, which is really just a fancy way of saying you can't hold someone under arrest without charging them with a crime and allowing them to present their case before a judge. That's jacked up. He basically decided American citizens could be detained indefinitely simply because a cop thought, I don't even know, any reason he could come up with. He also used executive order to enact the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, regardless of your opinion on whether or not these were good uses of power, you have to admit that's a whole lot of muscle being flexed by someone who isn't supposed to be able to just proclaim things into existence without seeking congressional approval. I shouldn't have to say this, but every time somebody blinks quickly, they get called a racist bigot, so here it goes. I agree that slavery is bad. My phone is making noise while I'm trying to record. Bad phone. It baffles me that our founding fathers, the men who created the first real free country, said to themselves, nah, we're going to continue the practice of dudes owning other dudes. And that it was England, the tyrannical country that we crushed in combat to get away from, they were the first to realize this was bad and start the process of eliminating it. That should have been us. Should have been us. I believe ending slavery was absolutely the correct thing to do. But using executive action to do it was probably not the right way. It sets a bad precedent. Let me explain. This is a precedent that FDR, you know, the crippled guy in Pearl Harbor that gave the order to save the planet from the Nazis. Yeah, Pearl Harbor left out this part where he used executive order to create Japanese internment camps. The same power used to free the slaves, FDR used to enslave Japanese people. One could argue, and I'm going to make that argument, that had Lincoln gone through the appropriate channels and used Congress to free the slaves, FDR would have never had the precedent to do what he did. Look, I'm no dummy. I know I don't look like the brightest crayon in the box, or actually, maybe I do. There's a lot of really bright colors on this thing. FDR probably would have done it anyway. That's what politicians do when power goes to their head. But I still think he'd have had a much more difficult time trying had there not been a history of executive orders being used to do things Congress should be doing. All that is to say, while executive orders may be used to do good things, the precedent they set opens the door wide for people to do incredibly stupid and dangerous things, all without needing to consult Congress. You may think ICE needs to handle children crossing our border illegally better, but Trump signing executive order to do this isn't the right way to do it. Congress needs to stop blaming their inability to accomplish anything on whoever is president at the time and do their friggin' jobs. Trump even told Congress to change the law, and they refused. Are you hearing me? Congress, the people you pay really good tax money to represent you, told Trump they'd rather he rule over us like a king and just write on a piece of paper whatever he wants than do what we pay them to do. And shame on Trump for giving in. You know what? I can't anymore. Politicians, they're all just pass the buck. It's this guy's fault. It's not my fault that I can't do my job. Guys, so I can't even anymore. I gotta get up.